You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/kidsandfamily. Just go to Indeed.com/kidsandfamily right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.
Are you ready to learn the 3 secrets to launching a successful podcast? Hi, I'm Bill, a recent client of the Podcast Mogul. If you've been thinking about starting a podcast but aren't sure where to begin, he's got you covered. He is hosting a free webinar where he will share the 3 secrets that can help you launch, grow, and monetize your podcast without any fancy equipment or technical headaches. Click the link in the show notes to save your spot now and let him help get your podcast off the ground.
You're listening to Invest in Yourself, the Digital Entrepreneur Podcast, brought to you by Feel Better Inc. If you want to take your podcast to the next level, make sure you book your free 15-minute call with Phil Better, the podcast mogul, at www.philbetterinc.com. Hey everybody, welcome to Invest in Yourself, the Digital Entrepreneur Podcast. I'm of course Phil Better, and today I have Joanna Pohorski. I think I pronounce it properly. I'm not sure. I always have a difficult with some last names. Joanna, thank you so much for being a guest on the show. Why don't you introduce yourself to my audience?
Hi, Phil. Thanks so much for having me. And clearly you have a very international audience. I noticed this listening to some of the podcasts. So it's Joanna Pohorski. So it's of a name of Polish origin, actually. And this is where I was born. So I've lived in Poland and Austria. I have been in the UK and London since 2002. And actually, most of my 20 years of corporate career have been happening in the UK or related to jobs where I have been employed in the UK. So during that time, I worked my way up from someone very junior in a private aviation company to quite a senior role in management consulting. So I worked in management consulting for quite a few years, which laid the foundation of my understanding of how businesses work and how to make business models work and also profitable. And then in my last role, I was working for an engineering company, and I managed all of the UK business, which was 60 million turnover and 350 people. So this was when I exited the corporate world on a 6-figure salary and that particular role.
Wow, that is amazing. Starting junior and then ending up 60. Wow, I can't even fathom having that. I would be so stressed.
Well, it's not the most relaxing of jobs, I could tell you that. And where people think, when you get to reporting to board level, where I was, it's all a breeze and you can actually decide everything. Think again, it's not like this at all. I can tell you that.
Excellent. I'm really interested in learning your journey and what you've done. I want to start off with just basic. What would you consider your first real success, either in business or in your private life? Something that gave you that kind of drive to keep going?
So I think when the success, there are a lot of different types of success, of course. And for me was when I actually came to the UK and I was in the middle of my career. I had the opportunity to work abroad, and one of the opportunities was actually Angola. So one of the biggest successes was actually having the impact I've been able to have through working with local team members, Angolans who were in line to replace the expats. And it was all about mentoring and coaching to helping them into the leadership roles and become effective leaders. And this was something that worked incredibly well, and that transition and change happened. So it was called Angolanization, so the localization of those leadership roles. And because of how society works, this meant that not just that person and the family had a very different life ahead of them, but all the wider family, so dozens of people and individuals, actually their outlook on life changed quite considerably.
That's a huge impact for a community, coming in, teaching them, and then showing them that they can grow, and the ripple effect of that. That must have been an incredible feeling, having been able to do that.
Yes, yes, it was. And especially, when I think back, I think I didn't do that much, but then people tell me, oh, but you learned Portuguese in 3 months, so you could really, and I still remember, sitting, because I couldn't walk anywhere on my own. So there were designated drivers, and I still remember how they were teaching me right and left in Portuguese, and they just had such a laugh, when I was mixing Spanish into it and just forgetting it all the time. But in the end, it worked. So I was able to train and coach actually in Portuguese with some very localized comparisons as well to help convey certain concepts, because where people are afraid to die on the way to work or be robbed on the way to work, how do you talk about continuous improvement, right? It seems such a far-fetched and a far-fetched concept, really, when you fear for your life every day.
Yeah. Oh. Um, what got you into being the business and life coach? What drove you into that world?
So definitely, on the one hand side, it was what I have learned within the management consulting world and role. Again, being in different roles, working with a lot of different people, I saw really the business foundations, how to run a business, how to grow a business, how to make a business profitable, but also that very often people and the people side in a business was overlooked. And this is where I have been then coaching for the last 15 years as well, within the different roles, management consulting, but also in the business leadership roles I've had. And what I have really seen at some point is that if I want to grow and support more, I will not be able to do that within a corporate role, while still staying true to myself, let's say, and just the amount of politics also became quite high. So it works for some people. For me personally, I just it wasn't quite my world, I found, and I started looking for other opportunities, how I can add value. And this is really where I came across two things that I'm passionate about and how I want to add value to others, and that's property development and coaching. So as I then moved out of the corporate world, I focused initially more on property development. However, over time last year, more and more people came to me asking me questions about different aspects of property development, where I had acquired the knowledge and I was part of different networks and member communities. And what I realized for property developers, one of the biggest challenges actually was business accountability and mindset. So a lot of people are actually overtrained, overeducated in terms of strategies, goldmine areas. I'm not sure if this translates exactly the same way, but what types of properties to buy, what the business models are effectively. So they know a lot of this, sometimes far too much. And this leads them to become actually unsure, procrastinate as well, fearful, if there's a better deal coming along, if there's something else that I can do, and in the end they do nothing. And this is all really about mindset and accountability, and then also the whole setup. A lot of people come to property through passion, but actually it's a business. If you really want to make either generate a recurrent income or make a living out of it, you have to look at it as a business.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, when they find their passion, they don't see the business side of it. They go, oh, I love this. I just want to do this because it's fun. It's something I care about. But everything can be turned into a business. And if it is already a business like property development, you have to go in already with the mindset of a business, that you have to treat it like a business.
That's exactly it. So because business not being taught in most schools, let's face it, nor a lot of life skills that we need. A lot of people can become successful or make a really good living from different jobs. However, this does not mean that they actually have the business knowledge, the legal part, the financial, a lot of people don't know what a KPI is, a key performance indicator, and also that you cannot just look retrospectively what happened. You have to look at leading market data, economic data, and so forth. You need to understand some of the micro and macro economy, and that's just not being taught at most schools. And again, only some courses of degree with a degree have that particular knowledge. So a lot of people actually have to acknowledge that to acquire that knowledge elsewhere, and you don't know what you don't know, right?
True.
So we can only learn when we start having questions or when we come across that knowledge, but we can't ask questions about something that we don't know. And again, the business side is one of these things for many people.
No, it's something I've noticed in interviewing. Personally, I had no idea how to become an entrepreneur and run a business of my own. So it was really like a hard case, right at the beginning, learning all this stuff. And it was like, I wish this was taught in school, because these are important tasks, because the world has changed such a way that you do not need a 9-to-5 anymore. You can go into your passion and building a business from that, as 2020 has shown us. So many people have become financially free by that. Moving back to your whole career, what would you say would be one of your first maybe failures that you had in your life?
So not to want to sound dramatic, but actually I remember it because I've never really cried at work, and I've counted others do that under different circumstances, but this was one of the moments where I had tears in my eyes because I was so shocked about what I heard. And that was really where, when I first started to be more senior in the management consultancy world, I thought I was a great manager and a great people person, until I had a performance review and I was told that I was basically a bulldozer, literally running through people, not taking account of their feelings or the humanity effectively. And this came as such an incredible shock. It was literally like going into a wall for me. So I literally had a physiological reaction and I just cried, not cried because I want to cry, but it's just it was physiology. It's the shock of it, because it basically undermined all my beliefs about who I was as a manager. And in retrospect, actually, this was a great learning, and something that laid a lot of the foundations for the future, who I became as a leader, and why I was respected, why I could be authentic, and why people even thanked me when I had to ask them to go to leave the company when this is the situation we were in, and which was a bit odd, but it really everything changed for me through this what I considered a complete failure at that point in time.
I like that. That's good. That little gut check, if you will, that you always have to have that accountability from your peers to know that you're on the right path and you're not trying to destroy other people, if you will. I'm pretty sure you weren't planning on. You thought you were helping, and this constructive criticism that you got helped you become even more successful in your career.
It's yes, absolutely, and it's also very interesting, for me in such situation when there's such a clash between reality and assumption. The first question I always ask is why. Why was it the fact? Why did this happen? Why was there such a gap? And actually, in my case, I realized that this is something I had taken away from home. Because again, what my parents had been through, they had to start around 40 completely from scratch with nothing, with 2 small children, when we emigrated to Austria. And it was really, and it's not like the times were easy before that under communism, So basically it was, don't complain, you have to be tough, you have to get stuff done. And it was, under the circumstances, understandable. However, it in a way slightly dehumanized the human, because it demanded the human to be high performing at all times in whatever they had to achieve. And I actually picked that up as a self-limiting belief effectively, without ever realizing it, until that crash, that what felt like a crash to me at that point in time.
No, I like that how you were able to take something from your shows that your past does influence you, and you are able to change, and it's okay to change because you can grow, become better. So I'm glad you were able to share that lesson with us, so that my audience can understand that it's okay to change. It's probably sometimes for the best.
Yes, absolutely. And also, what was right and worked in one environment, it can be quite detrimental in another. So being effectively, and it's nothing to do with authentic, but being the same and showing up the same way in different contexts can achieve a very different effect because of the context that it happens in.
I love it. I love it. I want to go on to maybe your lessons that you've learned, or one of your best lessons you learned from a success that you had.
Yes. So for me, successes are most of the successes are what happens to others, because I have been able to help them to get there, and it's actually very recent. So I have a number of coaching clients, and one of them has had challenges to move on to the next stage of their lives, let's say. And this has been going on for years. And when we started working together, actually what I've noticed is that there were a lot of things coming to the surface that seemingly had not a direct relation to what the person actually wanted to solve. But it was almost like we had to work, and the person had to work through all these different elements of their past and what happened, and the consequences of it, to get to the point where we could actually focus on what they really, really wanted to achieve and get to. So within 2-3 months, we managed to cover all this terrain, until we got to the point where they were able to take the action, which everyone in the environment was amazed they did, because they hadn't done it in the previous 4 or 5 years. So for me, this was an incredible success, because someone did something that they really aimed to do, but haven't been able to for such a long time. And then when they did it, they said to me, look, it's like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders. And, finally, I have been able to achieve that. So for me, this is probably the most recent and great success that I've experienced, because you can really see the change even in the way how the person looks and
Talks.
language. Yes, absolutely. So this was incredible, to see that transformation right there.
I love it, and that's such a great thing to have. I always believe in other people's successes. The people you help are just your successes as well, because you've guided them to that place, and you kind of were like a psychologist, if you will, help them deal with their past issues, and then you were able to focus on their goals for the now, and I love that.
It's quite fascinating, because this is going back to what stops us from doing certain things, and unblocking effectively these showstoppers that act as showstoppers, and getting to the bottom of them. And I have to say, as a coach, I'm not a counselor, I'm not a therapist, I'm not a psychotherapist in any way, and it's always very important to know where to say, actually, I'm not qualified to help maybe with that part. However, if we look at this from this point of view, then what about this, and take it forward in that direction. So I think there is an ethic behind coaching that not everyone is aware or are trained to recognize, and it's very important to maintain that professional framework, and just of course help, but also know where I cannot, because I'm not trained. Exactly, I'm not trained and qualified to do that. Yes.
I love it. Moving on, I want to know, going on from here, like, if I snap my fingers, what is the ultimate goal that you want to reach? Like, what is your dream? Like, you're either 50, 60 years in the future, you're like, I reached it, I'm happy, I can retire, or I feel satisfied for my career. What is that goal for you?
It's amazing. You're assuming I'm going to be well over 100.
Hey, with the technology that's going today, who knows? We have more and more people living past 100, so.
That's very true. And the interesting part is, it's not about the age, it's about the quality of life that we need to extend now, which is another completely fascinating conversation, the juvenescence. And there is a great book and research on, but that's a different topic. So I was actually talking to someone about what my property investment goal was in 15 years. And they said, oh gosh, that's far away. So that beats it. But ultimately, I want to contribute to creating, not personal building, but creating 13,000 homes for people, because having a safe home, that's the basis of Maslow's pyramid of needs. Mm-hmm. If we don't have food, drink, and a safe home, then we don't have the foundations to actually grow as a person and ultimately self-fulfillment. So this is quite critical. And the second one is around coaching. And this has always been my ultimate destination, coaching. And coaching is something where, the more people you can help, the more this then radiates out as well to others, because everyone who has a more positive mindset or achieves more, this is going just like, in the situation in Angola, it just radiates onto others. So everyone is a multiplier for and has a positive effect. So achieving this in coaching, you can do that through effectively having a franchise. And I have a coaching model, a framework that is very flexible to adapt. So everyone knows to expect in terms of checkpoints on the way to defining their goal and how to get there. With success, but how it works individually, this depends again on the person, on their needs and challenges and what they want to achieve. But this is something that when it becomes more known, and the positive impact it can have on individuals, and I've just mentioned one of the many that I've seen already, but this is something that can be really scaled up to positively add value to more people's lives and what they can do and will do in the future.
Oh, I love that goal, helping as many people as you can and sharing your knowledge. That is an ultimate goal of, I think, most entrepreneurs that are in the service industry, or at least coaches. I know they want to help as many people as they can, because they want everybody to have the success and have that freedom that most people are striving for. Get to a life where they're able to do what they enjoy doing, or reach those goals that they have.
Yes, that's exactly it. And you ask about the long term. So, the long term for me is talking about legacy. How can I leave that legacy that is going to last far beyond my lifetime span? But in the short term, so for this year, I have a commitment to help 100 people reach the number one goal. And, I'm looking for more people. So I'm already helping quite a few, and they have different goals. So I'm looking for more people who I can help and who have a goal, and preferably also those who have failed before. So everyone I work with has really had a focus and a commitment, but for one reason or another, they haven't been able to achieve that goal. They tried and failed. So this is where I help best, is where there have been blockers. Someone is stuck and doesn't know how to continue towards in the direction of the goal.
Oh, I like that. And hopefully some of my audience will reach out, and you'll be able to get some help, some more people from this, not only just listening to this, but if they reach out to you as well. What is a lesson that you would like my audience to take away from this interview?
I think we're all human beings, and most of us are very sociable, and the influence and impact that our closest, our partners, our family, our friends have, can be very significant. And recurrently they mean well, but actually they might not know what is the best for us. They might not know what our boundaries are. They might know what our limits are, our horizons, our aspirations. And sometimes with the best of intentions, which is actually the worst situation, with the best of intentions, they really try to hug us and just limit us. A hug is also a limitation, right? Once someone hugs you, you can't move. So this is a bit of the absurd situation when someone means the best for you and wants the best for you, but also they limit you with their expectations and their limitations, while you might want to just go out and do completely different things. So really find out what you want for yourself and what your goal is, and don't be afraid to pursue it, but also don't expect it to happen straight away. So be focused, make sure you know what it is, put your intention to it, and don't give up after the first challenge.
I love it. Yeah, I know I've been knocked down a few times, and most of the entrepreneurs I've talked to have had those knockdown moments, but they've gotten back up and continue down the path. So I'm glad we have another person reiterating that it's okay to get knocked down, but it's more important to get back up and focus and find people that can help you grow and that are looking to help you grow and not just limit you and keep you safe.
Yes, absolutely. And it's not the challenges or the failures, it's what you do next. So when you look at people like, Richard Branson, he's famous everywhere for
One of my
and
idols.
yeah, and how many knockbacks did he have, right? Before he got successful. And now he's flying, is it Mars? Is it the space? But anyway, far away from the Earth. So he's really at the next level already with some others. And when you look at other successful entrepreneurs, normally we start hearing about them when they are successful. What about the time before they were successful, right? Working from their homes, garages, going through endless failures. I mean, Thomas Edison is the best example that's recurrently being quoted with the light bulb, right?
Yeah.
He says, I didn't have 1,000 failures. I had 1,000 ways of finding the right solution. So I think remembering this and really just making sure that it's the right idea. So, there has to be some proof of concept, of course, and some validation. But once you know that, just really go for it and make sure that nobody steals your dream.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And keeping your dreams safe and sound is something that's important. You need to nurture that dream because it will become a reality. Um, we're coming up near the end of the interview, and I've been having so much fun discussing this with you. Normally, I like to ask all my guests if they're authors or if they're not, what is one book you would suggest entrepreneurs read? If they're going to jump into the space of entrepreneurship, what is a book that you highly recommend that they read?
I have to say, so I know it's maybe unusual, especially when I tell you what the books are. But there are actually two books that really shaped and remind me of where I'm going. One of them is Never Split the Difference, which was written by a former, I think he's a CIA trainer and hostage negotiator. And he actually there are courses available online that he teaches, which is fantastic. And this is really, very, very often people say, make sure it's a win-win. Very controversially, he says never split the difference, right? So there's only one winner, but the way how you get there really matters. And it's fascinating. I always say, had I known some of these negotiation strategies while I was still in corporate employment, quite a few things would have worked out very differently, just because these are such incredible strategies for negotiating, for example, a pay rise. So this is, again, something that's very useful, not just in hostage situations, but actually day-to-day situations where we might feel that we need a bit more leverage. Brilliant. So really recommend it. And this is the reason why I was laughing earlier, is because the second book is actually called One Thing.
One Thing.
And it really says that people who achieve success are those who focus on the one thing. And really make sure that they don't get distracted, don't dilute their focus attention to other things. And the one question from that book that I always bring up, because it really helps to bring it closer or make it more tangible, is there is an example of a Olympic rowing team that is not doing very well. And they get a new trainer, and the trainer says, brainstorm anything, blue sky, whatever idea. There's only one filter on whether we're going to try it or not. And the filter is the question, does it make the boat go faster? Because it's a rowing team. So the question always is to identify, is it the right thing to do, or is it just a distraction? Whatever your boat is, does it make your boat go faster?
Oh, I love it. I'm definitely going to be picking up those two books because I selfishly ask this question because as a new entrepreneur in the world, I want to just get this knowledge that other successful entrepreneurs have had. And if they're reading these books and they're successful, then there could be some glimmers of golden nuggets in there for me to learn as well. And that's why I share with my audience as well, because, hey, it may not work for me, but it may work for someone else who's going in it. Joanna, I'm going to jump off screen for a short bit. You're going to have 5 minutes. You don't have to use the full 5 minutes. Not everyone does. But please let my audience know where they can find you or if they want to reach out and work with you. So give me 1 second here. And you are good to go.
Brilliant. Thanks very much. So hi, everyone. I hope you really enjoyed the conversation, and I hope there have been some helpful suggestions, tips for you, something that you can take away and really is going to help you in whatever goal you're pursuing, whatever change you want to make. So if you want to contact me, there's different ways. So you can find me as Joanna Pohorski on LinkedIn. You can find me as Joanna Pohorski on Instagram. Also, there is a free community of over 500 people now, members now, on Facebook called the Accountable Mindset Community. So this is a great group of small business owners, professionals who are pursuing a goal and want to get more focus, more accountability, positive mindset, motivation. And I share lots of great resources, tips and tricks. And there's a great conversation going, a real community, supportive community to help each other achieve those goals. In terms of one-to-one, so what I offer as well is, I mentioned earlier, this is a tried, tested, proven framework that I take people through either in groups or as individuals. It works differently for different challenges and people as well. So there is over the 20 years of my corporate career, 15 years of coaching, I found that there are some very specific things someone has to do to achieve success, achieve a goal. So moving from wherever you are and where you might have actually tried and failed because life got in the way or other circumstances happen, and you have not been able to achieve that great goal that leads you to your vision and fulfilling the best life and living the best life that you want to live. So there are certain points and milestones on the way from that point to the ideal situation where you're implementing your goal, you know exactly what to do, and you're moving in the positive, great direction with momentum, get the support and have the right mindset, positive mindset every day. So I'm offering those the support to either groups or individuals. And I would be absolutely delighted if you think that you should be able to achieve a goal, but something got in the way before, maybe more than once. Please do contact me. I would love to help you, and I would love to accompany you on your journey towards achieving the best goal you want to achieve and making a huge difference and transformation to your future self. So I really appreciate your time and you being here, and thank you so much. And I hope I will see you in the future. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Joanna, for being a guest on Invest in Yourself and sharing your amazing journey with us and some tips and tricks for my audience to take away from. I look forward to joining your group and increasing my knowledge and becoming successful from some of your teaching.
Oh, thank you. I'll be absolutely delighted to have you on board. Thank you.
You're welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, again, I want to thank Joanna for being a guest on the show. And if you are interested, the show notes will have all the links to her group, her LinkedIn, her Facebook, her Instagram, all that great stuff. And again, remember, always invest in yourself, because before that, no one else is going to invest in you. Hey guys, I hope you're enjoying the episode so far. I want to thank you for your support. It means so much. If you're looking to launch your podcast, I have the ultimate 7 steps to launch a successful podcast. I wrote it myself. So if you're interested, send me an email at book@feelbetterinc.com and I will send you the link where you can get it. It's only $7.99 and your support would mean so much. So I thank you so much, and let's go. And thank you so much. Your support is fuck me, call this best. Hey guys, I want to thank you so much for continuing to listen to the podcast. Your support means everything to me. If you would like to know how I launched multiple podcasts in only 7 steps, make sure you send me an email. The email address is book@feelbetterinc.com. Again, that is a book, BOOK, at feelbetterinc.com. When you send me the email, you'll get a link to buy the book. I can't wait for you guys to read it and let me know what you think. So have a great day.
Thanks for tuning in. Now it's time to take the next step. When you're ready to dive deeper into how to launch, grow, and monetize your podcast, Phil's got something special for you. Join him for a free webinar where he'll reveal the 3 secrets that have helped countless entrepreneurs succeed in podcasting. Click the link in the show notes to save your spot, and let's turn your podcasting dreams into reality.
You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/kidsandfamily. Just go to Indeed.com/kidsandfamily right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.